Hey guys, AmunRay here, or Ray, as I'm sure some of you have guessed by now. So today's video is going to be all about my view on the Black Lives Matter movement and just black thoughts in general today. So pretty much, personally, a bit background about me. I'm an artivist, which is an activist slash artist and somebody who utilizes or merges this two pretty much throughout their daily life. But in addition for like job purposes as well. However, for me, I've been heavily involved in activism and social justice issues since before I became like an artivist with One Hood Media. My first protest that I attended was for Trayvon Martin. Yeah, that one. I was 14 at the time, attending my very first protest, or 14 or 15, and I am 21 now. But prior to that, I've always been eager in political science issues, social justice, environmental health issues, you name it. I'm big on making the world a more equitable and equal place, but and sustainable. But yeah, that's a little bit of background about me. So now to the Black Lives and my thoughts on it as far as like recent events are concerned. So sure, everybody is aware of the police brutality killings, the black on black crime, the just racist remarks by Trump. It's kind of heartbreaking to say the least, but at the same time, it's definitely, bear with me, very much needed. The fact that we have so many blatant examples of everything that is wrong with the world, and they're just being shown. Not to say that they aren't, or they haven't been shown for a millennia, but they're being more accessible now. Everything is much more accessible. You can go on Twitter and you can find what somebody said in Hong Kong and you're in Amsterdam or you're in Iowa. But essentially, sorry, I got a message. Essentially, the Black Lives Matter movement is something that has been getting a lot of traction within these past few weeks and months, but lately within these past few weeks, there's been an increase in support from businesses, individuals, celebrities, activists, everything. But at the same time, it's also kind of concerning, like who's jumping on the bandwagon for profit or just so they don't get looted next or whatever. For example, in my own neighborhood, when I was just moving in at the beginning of February, I saw maybe 5 Black Lives Matter signs. 5. After these recent events, I see almost every other house with a Black Lives Matter sign or a let's coexist sign. Different signs that have just been popping up in during recent events, and it's led me to believe who's doing this out of fear, who's doing this for profit, and who's just doing this because they genuinely care. But at the same time, I try not to dwell upon that and more so just focus on the fact that we're getting support. But at the same time, I'm seeing a lot of the so-called allies only being allies on social media, or only being allies on, or when it's convenient for them, or when they feel like there's a camera present or something like that, when they can get recognition for it. But for me personally, the Black Lives Matter movement has been an uphill battle. I've been front lines protesting. I've been front lines making signs, holding signs, standing with people arm to arm, linked up, just to try to get what I believe in heard. And that's pretty much what I do as an artist in general as well. But essentially, I've been doing these protests and going to these different things, and this most recent one for George Floyd and Breonna Taylor in Pittsburgh, there's been a lot of retaliation amongst the police as far as like tear gas and everything, and I was, a victim of that, and it was traumatizing also, to say the least, just because of the simple fact that I initially went down there and the protest started off very peaceful. We walked, we marched, we chanted, and we had sit-ins, and then we dispersed. Then the protests picked up randomly all over again, as protests sometimes do. I went back down there because I heard that the second wave was a more violent wave, and police were using force, and tear gas was being thrown, and people couldn't see. So I went down there with baking soda and milk to try to help out. And then I saw co-workers being detained, friends being detained and arrested, or being gassed and just left with burning eyes. And it's all been very triggering, as well as it has been eye-opening. All I can pretty much say is that the Black Lives Matter movement has definitely never been where it's at today. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, actually, I can say it's both. The Black Lives Matter movement is definitely both good and bad in its level of where it's at today. And the only reason it's bad, in my opinion, is because it puts us at a tipping point, so to speak. Like, we could either be the violent or more so belligerent and forceful change that is required, or we can be the more positive, peaceful change that's required. They're both required, but right now is kind of it's kind of looking like we're choosing one or the other instead of combining with both. And that's why I say it's bad, because it's not so much bad like, oh, we shouldn't be at this point in our movement, but it's more so, oh, it's bad because I don't see which way we're leaning towards. Are we leaning towards a more violent protest, or are we leaning towards a more peaceful protest? There have been both sides of the spectrum tipping at both points. But it's my hope that we have a combination of the two, because in my opinion, they're both very much needed. And I am also very proud to say that I am Black, and that the people who I work with have been such avid supporters of the Black Lives Matter movement. And it's honestly been something that I don't regret ever being a part of, and I don't regret ever going back out to help people. I don't ever regret being in any one of those protests, despite me losing my voice, despite me being sore the next day or for days, despite me not being able to rub my eyes because I still have tear gas residue or pepper spray still on my hands, not being able to go to school because I have a migraine the next day from being outside in the cold or the rain, and then the weather changes. But I don't ever regret any of that, because I know, even though I may not always be noticed on the camera or behind the scenes or whatever, I know for a fact that what I do matters. Like whenever I go out and protest, or whenever I go make a graphic image or a video like I'm doing now, it all matters. So, and I don't do it because I feel like I need to, or I feel like I should, because it's, you know, what's in. No, I've been doing these things since before, like, I even knew what I was actually doing. But, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement has definitely been an uphill battle, and we still have a long way to go, but we are by no way where we used to be, and I'm so grateful for that. But sorry for the rambling of the video. It was like, excuse me, 10 minutes, 11, maybe going on 12 minutes of me just informing you all, catching you all up. So again, this is AmunRay. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, and I'll see you all next time. Oh, next time there's gonna be a live paint, or not a live paint, but a paint with me again. But yeah, see you all.